What is good, everybody? We are live, we are here, and we are so proud to be here. What's good, everybody? Yo, yo, yo. Wow, it's kind of crazy how everybody just comes in straight off. You two are the first in. Let's get it. Let's get it. How are we all doing? How is life? How is everyone doing? Man, oh man, oh man. Before I've been okay, I'm glad you've been okay. I've been good as well, to be fair. I've been good as well, just working, all that good stuff. So we are here, we are live, and Fairs, man, I'm glad you've been alright. I mean, I haven't seen you in my lives in ages, you know. Oh, so where you been hiding then, boy? Since we haven't seen you in our live streams in ages. Mm. So where you been hiding? Pizza, sorry, I've just been on a long holiday to Korea. Pizza, Fairs. I mean, Korea's a lovely place, can't lie. But interestingly enough, for people that have just joined, we are going to talk about, these slavery servants that have, evolved to be feisty little gits. We love them because they are found in some parts of, Asia. Like I say, I would love to see these guys in the wild. I really do. I think these guys would be so cool to see in the wild. Now, what you'll notice is it was good. I'm glad Korea was good for you, man. Now, what is interesting is if you look at where the ribs are, they will puff their body to make their, that this hooded shape, which is kind of cool, which is to make them appear more bigger. But people genuinely believe that these guys get charmed by snakes. They don't. They're not. They're not. They're not dancing to snake charmers. They're more following the vibration. But even though these guys can be about 13 feet tall, which is very impressive to be that tall, ironically enough, now people genuinely believe that they can identify venomous snakes off the bat. It's actually a bit more trickier, but the easiest way to identify poisonous snakes is simply by the eyes or the tail. The tail and the eyes will never lie. And you will be able to identify exactly, what is a venomous snake and what isn't a venomous snake, what's a constrictor, and everything else in between. Which is kind of cool if you really think about it. But I would always say go for the eyes because the eyes never lie. So that is one way. I've been struggling with a dry cough, so I apologize. But yeah. You will never be able to go wrong with the eyes or the tail because the tail and the eyes always, tell the story of, the venomous and everything else. But, the way to understand how, animals use their venom, there are animals that use their venom by touch, and then there are venomous animals that bite. So when you think about snakes, because their teeth are quite hollow, they're like little syringes. When they go into when they bite, when they strike your arm and inject that venom, it goes straight into your bloodstream. Whereas venom that is only by touch, it just sinks into your skin. So, you've got to understand the difference. It's like how, poison dart frogs. Say poison dart frogs, for example. A poison dart frog would naturally sweat their poison out. So then that way they can have Yes, very interesting stuff. Thank you so much. So then that way, when a poison dart frog is, in contact with you, they're not biting, they're just sweating it out, so it touches your skin, and then that kind of pretty much sinks into, into your skin very easily, just just as fast, and it works effectively, a lot more effectively than what snakes would be doing. Never knew that. No worries. There are more. There is more. There is more. So when people think about Megalodon, let's do this, right? So Megalodon is one of the most unique species of sharks. They really are. So people genuinely believe that Megalodon was a gigantic great white shark or lemon shark. None of those species were even linked or considered classified as Megalodon. Megalodon was actually a mackerel shark that grew to be about 60 foot long, which is beastly for the size for a mackerel shark. But luckily for you guys, this shark had actually been extinct for about 2.5 million years ago. So there is no real actual, you know, worry about swimming with one. And I know a lot of people genuinely believe that, Megalodon still exists and that it's still floating around, that it even got trapped. But ironically enough, it would not have been able to survive because going back to 2.5 million years ago, where, it was extinct, it would have been way too hard to keep up, the amount of food it would need. And not only that, it would need somewhere that was, beneficial to it, and it never managed to keep up with the evolvement. So evolving into a new area, I don't know whether it's true, but scientists are trying to bring them back. It would be very, very, very hard for them to bring back a megalodon, especially a gigantic beast like this, because there's all different types of assets of, you know, would it evolve to manage to stay and maintain the height it was and everything else. And then you got to look at the factors of, well, since the world has evolved into, different climates, from cold, hot, humid, whatever, different animals have managed to maintain, the environment around to in order to survive. I don't think Megalodon would be able to survive such horrific impacts now than what it would have if it was during the dinosaur period, because sharks have been around since the dinosaur era. When you look at the dinosaurs and how they evolved, these guys would have, genuinely, been around since the dinosaur, stage of life, But these guys would, ironically enough, and not only that, you got to consider these guys weighed around about 30 large great white sharks. So, having that much weight and that much power is impressive, but at the same time, you can't maintain that much muscle and that much stamina to increase the body of what it needs in the wild. So they would need to hunt a hell of a lot of whales and a hell of a lot of other things to maintain its body posture as well as everything else. You feel me? But I think what is also interesting is a lot of people don't know this, and I had made a video about this, which is how do you tell if how old a shark is? Well, the way to identify the age of a shark is simply counting the rings on the vertebrae. So your vertebrae is the backbone of your spine. So when you look at your backbone, you want to count the rings on your spine side of where the rings are, and that will identically tell you how old that shark is. So it's not about the size or the muscle stamina or anything like that. It is the vertebrae that you count in order to identify how old that shark is, which is incredibly interesting, isn't it, when you think about it? Jumpy, that's a bit off. In it, I mean, I've had that question asked so many times, and Jumpy, I'm sorry. It's a weak troll. Very weak troll, but it is what it is. Eddie, 18 days and I'm back. No worries. I see that you've been trying to keep up. But yes, All in all, identifying a shark's age is by the vertebrae, not by anything else. So the vertebrae will tell you all there is to know about these beautiful species of sharks. But yes, in regards to Megalodon, I really don't think it will ever come back. And if it did, it'd be a small ass shark. And I don't think it would be as impressive as it used to be, because like I say, back then these guys would be literally, 60 feet tall, which is impressive for these guys. But sharks are genuinely misunderstood creatures, because people genuinely believe that, sharks just attack for the sake of attacking. No, sharks don't understand, not for a very long time. Exactly. And what is interesting is though that sharks, genuinely are very curious creatures. They're not out to hunt humans. And a lot of people theorize that sharks can smell human blood. It's not true. They can't smell human blood. It's not something that they can, genuinely smell, and it's not something that they can naturally smell. But believe it or not, a shark can actually, feel the vibration of a fish heartbeat before they start attacking the fish. But people do genuinely have that fear of sharks. And that all stimulates because of, the films like Jaws, the films that, betray sharks as bloodthirsty animals that want to eat humans, that want to kill humans because they're bloodthirsty creatures. That's not true. There's nowhere in history that sharks would just attack a human for no reason. But they do have, sharks like to do what's called a test bite on humans. And, test bites, because our skin is very soft. Sharks don't understand that, because we're not them. We can't be thick-skinned and everything else. But what is interesting though is, in terms of shark behavior, when you see a shark going for a hunt or going for, a meal, all sharks will size each other up. So the tallest shark will be swimming at the very, very top, and the lower sharks, the bottom feeders, will be at the very, very bottom where they belong. And then the tough sharks, the tall sharks, will come down and take the food, and then the next lot will come up. But if sharks are going to size each other up in terms of like, okay, is this shark, going to be more powerful than me? Am I bigger than that shark? Is this going to be bigger? It's ba 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 ba. But what they don't understand is that, in terms of shark behavior, the taller and the more powerful will always be on top. It's quite impressive how sharks have a pecking order in terms of what they eat, what they go for. But they do not go for humans as much as people generally believe, because sharks are not prone to attack humans because it's on their menu. No, sharks naturally would eat anything from, seals and stuff like that, because that is their natural diet. That is what they naturally process with. And unfortunately for surfers that do surfing, they do come across a bit like a seal. So of course the shark's going to be like, oh, that's an interesting meal. But then they realize, oh, that's not a very nice taste. So again, people don't need to be scared of sharks, because there are so many beautiful things about sharks that people generally misunderstand. And it's like when you take, grey wolves, for example. A wolf is not going to hurt you unless you trap it or corner it. It's as simple as that, So therefore, there is no real reason for a wolf to even attack a human. And they're not going to. In the wild, grey wolves are naturally going to be wanting to avoid you at all costs. And sharks, they are more curious. They will come and investigate you. And if you want a shark to not attack you, there are two methods to stop a shark from attacking you. One is to move its head to the other side, or pressing the gills. Because it's been scientifically proven that if you were to press the gills on a shark and apply a bit of pressure, they're going to move away, because it's a pecking order. And if you have that pecking order, and then you have that, dominancy of, I'm in here, you're gonna follow my lead, you aren't gonna dominate me, by pressing the gills. It's gonna move the shark away, and it's gonna show the shark that you mean business, and that this is my territory just as much as your territory. But people who genuinely believe that, sharks love taking food out of people's hands, no, it's a frenzy. And people need to stop feeding sharks while underneath the water for tourists. They really do. Because people don't understand that when you're underneath the water, you're in their world, you're in their domain. And what is really messed up is I see a lot of people trying to fucking, go down, swim with these sharks, and then sit there and be like, oh, I know I'm gonna give them a bit of fish. So then these sharks all come down and they're ripping they're ripping this fish apart while people are taking pictures underneath the water. Like, it's not a safe thing. It's not a safe thing. It really isn't a safe thing. I'm gonna sneeze. God damn. Now, what is even more interesting, because this is going off topic a little bit with animals in general, but there was a video that I watched from last night, and I saw this video being recommended. The video came out 2 years ago, and it was to do with a parrot that basically said to its owner that it wasn't going to harm her, that it wasn't going to hurt her. And during that video, you could see quite clearly that this bird was ready to attack her. And she was literally freaking out because this parrot was going to attack her regardless. And this parrot kept saying to her, why are you scared? Come here, I'm not going to hurt you. And then as soon as the parrot got close enough to bite her feet, the parrot said, that wasn't so bad. That wasn't so bad. The ironic thing is people think, and this is the thing that I really want to make redundantly clear. People think that, these birds or parrots can understand what they're saying, that they have an understanding of vocals of what people say. But they really don't have no fucking clue what they're saying. Birds can mimic a word, like, I'm not gonna hurt you, or, I love you, or whatever. But birds genuinely have no recognition or understanding of what these words are. They have no understanding. But when you see a bird like a parrot trying to attack a human, they will always display a body language of puffing its, feathers out, opening its beak. And in this video, you can quite clearly see that the parrot was already thinking about attacking because the whole feathers was all puffed up, the beak was out, and it was ready to strike at any given time. Now, granted, the woman didn't really leave the parrot alone and was trying to talk to it to basically tell it to stop. But unfortunately, parrots don't always do that. They will strike and then they'll keep striking until that, until they feel satisfied that that person or that thing is gone, which is really messed up. And I will be doing a video on that, and I'll show you guys the whole body language of the parrot. And it's a well looked after parrot, but people believe that this parrot had been either abused in its past, or it's a rescue, or it's very much, not feared. It doesn't fear humans, so therefore it likes to attack humans. And there's something in that bird that makes it so daunting. Like, there's a daunting undertone between when it's saying it's not going to harm the woman, to then attacking the woman, to then doing all sorts, to try and get this woman to feel more freaked out. Now, this woman did freak out because she was like, oh shit, this bird attacked me, oh my god, but she could have done a bit more better by actually not engaging with the parrot and just walking away without the parrot, having to escalate it and, being more aggressive. But unfortunately, the woman did get attacked, and I'm not sure if that woman was ever okay, but unfortunately, we never really got another follow-up video to find out if the woman was ever okay. But, one can tell. But yeah, when it comes to parrot language, it's pure body language. It's not words. And as much as it's cute to hear parrots talk and communicate with humans, they still don't understand what they're saying. So a parrot could sit there and say they love you, but they don't have that correlation. They don't understand the word. So it's kind of funny how people sit there and go, oh, my parrot is very intelligent. It knows all the words underneath the sun. Yeah, that might be true, but doesn't mean it knows them. Doesn't mean no matter how many times you try to give a parrot a definition of what a certain word is, they're never gonna understand the word. But when a parrot is going to attack, like I say, they are going to physically attack, and their body posture will tell it all, from the feathers going up to everything else. And with sharks, it's like with sharks. When a shark is going to attack, they're going to literally, directly speed towards you and then chomp. That's how you identify when a shark is going to attack, because the body language on a shark is very much, different in terms of display of violence. And it's like with tigers, they will do the same thing. Every animal that's going to attack you, they're going to give you a warning before going for it. And people don't listen to those underlying, problems that people miss. People miss the undertone of what that animal is saying underneath that, Let me see if I can get the... Let's talk about sloths. Now, there was a sloth that was trying to cross a road, and it was about to be squished, but ironically enough, this man that was driving managed to stop to basically help the sloth cross the road, and it did become famous because the sloth reached his hand out to basically give this guy a handshake to say thank you for, helping me, cross the road safely. And people adore animals because animals do go viral for many, many reasons. And people, generally have a soft spot for nature in terms of what animals do. And there's actually good documents of animals saving humans. Like, for example, deers. There was a deer that helped a woman that got robbed. And this deer headbutted the guy that, stole a handbag. And this deer stayed with the woman all the way through and through without any, problems whatsoever, until she got into a cab and left safely. The deer walked away, which is quite impressive. So, can I be mod? Rom, how old are you? And you're probably a kid. I don't understand the obsession with being a mod. So, and have you had any criminal records or anything like that? Because we will do a background check on you, lad. That's the way it goes. How old are you, and have you had any criminal records or anything like that? Because it's very important that we do checks like that. Because we exposed one of my old mods for something they did. So never again will I... I've had a hit and run in 2019, but all sorted. Fairs, so you must be, what, 18, 19? Maybe 20, 30? I'm 27. Oh, yeah, we'll put you as mod. There you go. But yes, I mean, all in all, it's impressive how every animal gives us unique experiences. From no worries, bro, you're mod. Raccoons. We love raccoons. So raccoons are interesting, and when you look at the features of a raccoon, the mask that they have helps protect them from the glare of the sun, so they don't get blinded. A bit like how cheetahs have their own set of unique features, they have the same element. So all in all, it's pretty much, these guys have the glare protection from the sun, even though they're nocturnal. They do hunt small rodents, and they are very clever in their own way. Mate, how old are you, bro? Limit. I'm 24. Any criminal records? Before I do, any criminal records? Because one of my old mods was an absolute twat, and I had to kick him out and expose him. Good, then you are modded as well. As I say, They're also very good at taking human rubbish away. So human rubbish is what raccoons will naturally go for as well. He was he was basically molested. And he literally exposed himself, which made it easier for us to basically gather every bit of information. We filed a lawsuit against the twat, but yeah. Yeah. We thought we could trust the twat, but no, he screwed us over because this channel is to do with nature. So if you love nature, do subscribe. We do a lot of animal content. So if you do love animals, you want to learn about your favorite animals, this is the channel for you. We do talk about nature in all of its glory, from the weird to the beautiful to the scary to the whatever, and to teach you guys all there is to know about nature. I am about that life because I do work in a zoo, and to prove that I work in a zoo, oh yeah, boy. Fuck, I can't even put my shit on. 1 minute. There we go. So yes, I work in a zoo. I am about that life. I literally love the passion of talking about nature. So if you love nature and you want to learn all about nature, then do go and subscribe. We do love having people around. So yeah, it's very important to subscribe, all that sort of good stuff, because we teach about nature in ways that you will love and in ways that you never thought were possible. So for the new people that just joined, I was talking about sharks, and I was also telling people how you can identify how old the shark is. The way to identify how old the shark is, yo, what's good, bro? The way to identify how old the shark is simply by looking at the vertebrae on the backbone. Counting the rings on the vertebrae will basically give you a clear indicator of how old that shark is. Now, when it comes to raccoons, as I say, because we're on to raccoons, they have this unique little feature on their face, which looks like a mask. That basically, what's third crown? They mean the vertebrae of the shark on counting how old that shark is. You can identify quite easily. But as I say, with the with the mask on this raccoon, is to help it, not see the sun glare. So when the sun glares at its face, it doesn't feel it on its face because it's being protected. Now, what is interesting about raccoons is that they are, nocturnal creatures. They like to, hunt small rodents, but they also, no, I mean, there's a crown thingy on me. Is that? I don't know, mate. I can't tell. Let me have a little look. Hold up. One minute. Hi guys, welcome. We are going to be jumping back into animal facts. Just bear with us while I just look at something quick. Because one of my subscribers said something. Let me check for you, buddy. Real quick. Let's see, shall we? Oh, the crown. I don't know what the crown is. Let me... Oh, I see what it is. So basically, top fans, meaning people that support me, has their crown. So it's like, you get XP for how many times you come into my channel versus everything else. So that's like a nice little feature to say, look, this is my top fans, my top supporters, my top everything. You feel me? So that's what it is. Which is kind of cool. I like that feature. I didn't even know that was even a thing. I didn't even know that you even added that in. That's so cool. So we got some top fans in here. Fucking hell. You lucky bastards. Yo, what's good? So yeah, as I say, the mask basically helps protect their eyes from the sun, even though they're nocturnal. Oh wait, we won't talk about pigeons just yet, because I don't want to talk about them. That can be another topic. Elephants! We love elephants. Now, that fact about how we all heard the weird but true fact about elephants can't jump. Well, that's because of their height and because their legs are not flexible and they don't have that, you know, flexibility to basically jump up. So that, when we've all heard of the word, oh, elephants can't, when we've all heard of elephants can't jump, it basically just means that because of their height and the flexibility is so weak, they can't jump. But not only that, why would an elephant need to jump if they're that strong and bulky? You know, they can charge a lot of times, so they're kind of cool. They are kind of cool. I really do like them. Now, let's get into more animal facts. Come on. So this is Fredo. Hang on, I'm not sure if you guys can see. So Fredo is our leopard. He is an absolute legend. But these guys are critically endangered. They are pretty much found in the cold parts of China to the cold parts of Russia. Now, these guys are critically endangered, but they are genuinely going to be breeding. Fredo has bred already, but he is a beautiful leopard, and we love him to pieces in every aspect. And we're hoping that he'll have babies at some point. And these guys are mainly more active during nighttime, dusk, and dawn. So that is the natural time you will see these guys more active and more around and more lively. Yo, what's good, bro? So that is that for him. Let's go into... Let's go into this. I know you guys love it. So this is a serval. So servals are found in the savannas and they have excellent hearing and they are so cool. We do have them at my zoo and they are absolutely phenomenal at jumping. They're not classed as a big cat, they are a lesser cat. But what makes these guys extraordinarily hunters, and they can literally, you know, out hunt you know, lions and stuff like that, is because they can leap up to 6 feet in the air just to grab a bird. So with their flexibility to jump that high, 6 feet in the air, just to grab a bird, which is insane. They are classed as least concern, but they are absolutely phenomenal. They have excellent hearing, they are excellent climbers, least concern, and not only that, they don't have a set period to when they would produce babies. They can make babies whenever they can. They are absolutely, you know, not bothered about the seasons. They'll just do it whenever they want. That's insane. They are my third favorite animal. They really are. With how insane they can jump, it's honestly batshit crazy. I love them to pieces though. They are phenomenal to work with. They really are. Without a doubt, they are so insane. Let's do... Let's do... We got it. I can talk about parrots for a bit. I mean, actually I did just speak about a parrot 2-3 minutes ago, maybe a bit longer than that, but I'll give you a brief down of this fact about parrots. So I'm gonna give him. I'm gonna give him that little fact briefly, just so he can be up to date a little bit. Trust me, even though we've already spoken about it and most people have already heard this, I'm gonna give it just a little debrief of this. So there was a parrot that I saw yesterday night that basically attacked an owner, and the parrot is basically saying to his owner, "I'm not gonna hurt you. I'm not gonna, not gonna harm you. Why are you scared? This and that and the third." And then it attacked the owner. But the ironic side of it is, parrots can't understand the words that they say. So and this parrot had its chest, like its feathers all puffed up, the beak was already wide apart. That's how you identify when a parrot is going to attack you. And when a parrot is going to attack you, it's better to leave the parrot alone than to stay there and try and argue with the parrot or try and reason with the parrot. Because parrots, they can't understand human language. They can mimic it, but they can't understand it. So even though it's cute to hear these animals speak, they don't understand it, unfortunately. Now, moving on to these beautiful specimens, what I really love about these guys is that they are called axolotls. They are critically endangered, and they are found in freshwaters in Mexico. But the reason why they're so critically endangered is because of habitat loss and all that sort of stuff. I'll get to that in a minute, buddy. I will get to that in a minute. Oh, no, go on. Go on, I'll tell you. How long do parrots live for in general is a good question. So you're looking about genuinely between 20 to 80 years. So 20 to 80 years is how long they would live for. So that is your answer in terms of that. They are very interesting creatures. They're very vocalized. They use vocal to communicate with one another when they need to vocalize, So yeah, anyway, in terms of axolotls, they are critically endangered. They're found in Mexico. They're critically endangered due to the fact of how long do giraffes live on average? That's a good question. So in the wild, you're looking at about 25 years in the wild. That is typically how long an average lifespan of a giraffe is. 25 years in the wild. I really like axolotls. They're really cool. What's really cool about axolotls is these guys, genuinely can live on land. They can also live pretty much, in water. Oh yes, can we talk about giraffes next? We're in a little bit of a rush, but I will make a video on giraffes. Actually, I have done a giraffe fact for you guys to do with their vocals, because a lot of people scientists did not think that giraffes could actually vocal because of how tall their neck is and how long it would take to travel up. But they can actually vocal. But if you want to see that video, you can, but I will also do an in-depth dive about giraffes, especially for you if you want to. Alright? So I will do a video on giraffes as much as possible for you so you get a good feel of giraffes. I also done a video on hippopotamuses and why they sweat red and why it looks like they're bleeding blood. It's kind of cool. It's very interesting. I have done a video on that. So no worries, we can do many different animal facts for videos and on live streams, but my phone is about to die, so I have to rush in a way. But if I had a bit longer, I wonder, Trust me, bro, you won't be disappointed. What else? Let's do... I want every fact out. So we're going to do this fact quickly. Where the fuck is it? Pigeons! They're so cool. Innit? You guys are killing it with the fan support. I love that. I love that we got top fans. It's kind of cool. Man, honestly, I work with animals, so I love what I do, and animals are really unique. Yo, so when we talk about pigeons, there was a pigeon in India that flew to Pakistan, and it got arrested because they thought it was a terrorist. And when they saw the ring around its ankle, they rang that number to see what would happen. And ironically enough, the owner actually picked up the phone. So they had to release the pigeon, but once upon a few years later, there was actually a pigeon that was actually terrorizing the Pakistan Prime Minister, and it was causing threats of violence. But, you know, the poor pigeon that got mistaken for the terrorist notes got released quite easily. So there you go. It has been an honor to be on here to speak about some animal facts. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. I gotta go and charge my phone before it dies. You guys have been amazing. I love that you guys have all stood and watched this, you know, crazy stories and facts about animals and so on and so forth. Go and check out my videos. Go and learn as much as you can. I love you all. Stay safe, stay blessed. To my top supporters, you're all amazing. I love you guys. Thank you all so much for supporting. And I'll be back on once my phone is fully charged.